Hi folks, how you doing? I'm going to tie with dyckers today because my package finally came in. Dyckers fibre is a really superb fibre. Um, a lot like EP fibre, um, but I think personally a lot softer, a lot better. It's a lot cheaper. You get more of it. Fantastic fibre. I'll put the link at the end of the video. If you want to go and get it, it's dyckers.com over in Holland. Great company. They do a really nice range of this. Brilliant fibre to use. Now the reason I'm doing it, I got asked to do it because a lot of people struggle with tying EP type flies. They tend to make them too big, too bulky. They don't look right in the water. So I'm going to show you just a really easy tie for this. And it'll catch your fish. So we're going to do a roach pattern, or a greenback. It's going to have a greenback, two colours, the green and the belly, which is white. Okay, hook. I'm going to use an Aberdeen. And can I just say on the subject of hooks, I know I laugh quite a lot. There's a lot of hooks out there. What's good, what's not, what's a good hook? Well, a lot of stuff is priced to get the angler to buy stuff, you know, because some large company says this is a pike fly hook. Well, for example, let me say Full and Mill out there, they do a 10-packer hook in a 6.0, and they charge, I've seen it online, between, I think it's between about £5 and £6.99 at Sportfish for a 6.0 hook. I'm sorry, a 10-pack, that's ridiculous. Let me just say, this hook here is in the UK. This is from a company called WSB Tackle. It's a sea angling Aberdeen, believe it or not. And it's absolutely fantastic quality. I used to use Sakuma Mantas a lot, but they're quite an expensive hook. I do a lot of commercial tie-in. I need a good quality hook that's cost productive. So I've gone over to these guys now. These hooks are absolutely amazing. They've got a really nice wide gape, so you can get some good material on there. Any pike will be able to take that. That's a size 6.0. Okay, so in we go. Fits in the vise really good, and that's a 6.0. Can you see that gape? That's great. The Full and Mill one says it's a micro barb which you can flatten down. To be honest with you, you can flatten down any barb. You can flatten down that barb if you want. Not an issue. Okay, so we're going to go with a mono thread. Whatever's your favourite. You don't have to go for a mono thread. You can go any thread you like. Whatever's your choice. Okay, so we're going to put a few rounds around there like that. And then I'm going to touch, just to make that bomb proof and to stop it slipping. It also gives the material something to stick to. Right, so we're going to take dyckers fibre. This is dyckers soft and white. We're going to take a very thin amount. Okay, like I say, a lot of people using dyckers or EP fibres, what they'll do is they'll actually take too much of that, because what we're going to do with this is with the ends, we're going to taper the ends a little bit. So we're just going to pull like so. You can see that's tapering quite nicely. And you can do some trimming at the end if you want. Okay, so that's tapered quite nicely. So I'm now going to fold that over, but I'm going to use, one side is going to be long and the other side is going to be a little bit shorter. Okay, what that'll do, that'll give you your nice profile. So we're going to place that right on the hook there. So that's totally, that fly will probably come in, I think, at about 9 inches, 9 or 10 inches. Okay, so with the thumb and forefinger, we just push that gently round and you get a couple of wraps fairly tight just to secure, like so. Split the fibre on top, like so, and then split it around the hook, thumb and forefinger, tease it back either side of the hook, like so. A few wraps on there just to secure, just like so. Now, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put some flash in. This is just actually metallic red starburst fibre from the Fly Ties dungeon. Kind of like angel hair. You can use angel hair, any flash you like. Now I know it's quite interesting because Dyckers, he has actually, I mean, if you've ever seen Dyckers' website, that guy catches a lot of big fish and a lot of volume of big fish. His customers over there in Holland catch a lot of pike, and they catch big pike. Maybe I should move to Holland. But anyway, he has actually stopped using flash in his flies, which I thought was quite interesting. And he's catching just as many big fish. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to put that red on there. A couple of rounds around. Okay, and then fold that across. Tease each side of the hook, like so. Tie that in and bring your thread forward a little bit. Okay, there we go. Looking good so far, looking good. So we're going to take, again, another thin section of white. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half. Again, one's a little bit shorter than the other. Okay, so we have a long piece and we have a short piece. Okay, so I'm just going to tease that out a little bit. Again, just to give it that profile, because what you don't want is just an all straight edge. So you want it to taper like so. Okay. Now we're going to put that on top like so, and if you notice that's not all the way back, so that tapers it. And we're going to again push that down, thumb and forefinger, a few wraps around like so, and then we'll split it on the hook again. Pull it back, just make sure that the fibres is covering the red. Just tease that a little bit, that's it. Okay, and a couple of wraps. Bring your thread forward and then bring it back, like so. So what you're going to do now is you're going to put a little bit more varnish on. So you're bringing the thread forward, and that's going to give the varnish something to grip onto, and it's going to give something for your next piece of EP to actually stick onto as well. Okay, so now we're going to take a very thin piece of green, again, taper. Don't worry if you have a wee bit comes out the end there, we can always trim it later if you really want to. Okay, so that's going to go on there, and that's going to go the full length of your fly, like so. I'm going to couple of wraps around, like so. And then we're going to pull that back. And then bring your thread halfway forward. You can see the shape of that now. That's looking kind of cool. If you wanted to put some more flash in, you could get some flash if you really wanted to. If you want to get some flash, what to do is take your flash and then tie some in like that, and then put your next piece of fibre on top and then fold that over, and that'll give you a flash in your back. You can use angel hair, whatever you like. Okay, so we turn that round, and now we're going to go the final piece of white. Doesn't take long, these flies, you know, once you get the hang of that, it doesn't take long at all. You can knock off a few, and you can do them in any size you like as well. I just like these big 6/0 hooks, these big sizes. They're very lightweight as well. Okay, so we're going to place that on and split. Like so. So what we're going to do, we're just going to bring that right forward just before the back of the eye. So, and then we're going to fold that back and split it on the hook. Just go a little bit more forward than that, a couple of times, that's it. And then fold it back. So, like so, and then we'll turn it round. Any white fibres that have gone over, we just pull them to the correct side and a couple of wraps. Okay, good. So we just need a bit of varnish on there again, just to keep that absolutely bomb-proof. That's going nowhere with a mono thread. Okay. So again, we're going to take a small amount, very, very small amount. Almost, probably I'd say, the thickness of a pencil lead. That's all you need. Okay. Now I'm going to fold that over again, like so. One short, one long. But we're not actually going to chop this one. So that's going to sit on the top. Okay, so we'll just give that a wee bit of a taper. And I'm just going to put that on the back there. Not quite right at the very back. So you maintain that taper. Round, secure, fold back, so it looks quite a bulky fly, but it's not. Again, that's the whole premise, that you're creating an illusion. It's a big fly, indeed it is a big fly, but it doesn't weigh a lot. But it looks big in the water, which is cool. Okay, so that's pretty much that part. I can just put that away somewhere. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do, there's a couple of, you know, I usually don't, but a couple of loose fibres just on the back. Okay. Right, so the eyes time now. Okay, so we're going to use these 8mm eyes. 8mm, 10mm, 10mm maybe, those ones. You get to gauge eye size when you do quite a lot of these to what works with what flies. And this is a really good one for 8 to 10 mils. Okay, so we're going to get our epoxy. Again, I use epoxy. This is a 30-minute one. I've got a 5-minute one on order. If I'm doing lots of flies, I'll do the 30-minute. If I'm only doing a couple, I'll do the 5-minute epoxy. So a little bit of each. And there. Put that out the way, and I'll just show you that. And again, that is going to be way too much anyway. That's going to be too much. But I do like to Make sure I've got too much and not enough, nothing worse. Okay, just going to take the eyes off, just to have them ready and prepped. There's an odd fibre there, I'll just get rid of that one. Okay, so we're going to mix. If you mix the epoxy, if you do it in circles, so this is a good tip, if you do it in small circles, did I say tip there or tip? Apologies. So if you mix it in circles just like that, you're not going to get any air bubbles in that, which is also really good if you're creating a full epoxy head around the eye, like a bullet head. So if you just go around in circles like this and then anti-clockwise and clockwise like this, you might get the odd bubble, but you're going to get hardly any bubbles. If you go this way, like so, you're folding air into that, you're trapping air in the epoxy. Okay, so that's pretty much done. Now this is how I do this, is I take the epoxy and I push it through with a dubbing needle. I hope that's clear on the film. So what you're actually doing, you're creating a really nice base under there, and it also, when it hardens, it'll give it a little bit of weight, which when you're stripping pores, that's going to help with the movement. Same principle really as you know, like weighted jerk baits and stuff. Okay. Just keep pushing it through around where your eye is going to go. You'll find with these, by pushing the epoxy in, what that will do in the water, when you strip and pause that will actually go like a glide bait from side to side. Great to watch. I always leave a tiny little bit of epoxy just to finish the nose. Okay. If you notice with that's kind of not dripping, so it's great to work with. So we take our eye, so. Plenty of eyes out there, so just go and take your choice. I tend to use between 8, 10 and 12 millimeter for most of mine. Occasionally I'll use 14. Just depends what fly I'm tying really. And that is pretty much it. You know, you can knock these up very quickly. There you go. A dyckers. I'll call it a roach, call it a baitfish, call it whatever you want. Besides pike, obviously, these, you know, in these colours, these are great for tropics as well, and they're also good, especially in the UK. Sea bass will take these quite readily. So get yourself out there and, you know, get some dyckers, give it a go. Really easy. Thanks for watching.